Hello, everybody. I'm Katy Moses from KAM Media. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Hospitality Talks. And please welcome Richard Carter, who is co-founder of OrderPay. Richard, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure. Hi.
Hi. I'd really like for you to just let everyone out there know who OrderPay are. I mean, this particular Hospitality Talks is going to accompany quite a lot of insight and information due to a joint white paper that we've got. But for anyone out there who doesn't know you or your background or who OrderPay are, if you could give a brief introduction, that'd be fabulous.
Sure. Yes. OrderPay is an industry cooperative coalition to provide ordering and payment services to the hospitality sector. We're an app that has the ability to reskin to each of the customer's brands or the operator's brands when a customer enters that venue. We can order and pay, click and collect, and do a bunch of other exciting things. But I think really what sets us apart, other than the functionality, is the fact that we actually share 30% of our profits with our operators. So we've tried to create a cooperative coalition, which is really unique.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. So tell me, OrderPay has obviously been through quite a change in the last 6 months from what I can see. Prior to lockdown, what was the business? What were you focused on?
Well, it was really interesting. We were always planning to launch OrderPay in September of this year, and we'd been planning it for a whole year before that, and meeting and engaging with the senior leaders of many of the high street brands, and working towards delivering an ordering and payment solution. But unfortunately, COVID struck, and shortly after Easter, I had a lot of conversations with the leadership teams of those brands that were due to go live in September, for them saying, we need it live for July the 4th reopening. What can you do? Please get it to us as quickly as possible. So I guess that urgency was brought forward, and then all of our guys to work flat out for basically two and a half months, the weekends and nights, to get it ready to support our operators in time. So let's say we were always going to do this. We did it earlier, and we're just trying to get it out to as many of our customers who wanted as possible to help.
And it's always interesting to me because I think you've got a background in grocery retail. I've got a background in grocery retail as well. And I think that possibly, well, we know from research that we've done before that around 50% of people actually think that hospitality was at the time sort of behind grocery retail and its adoption and user experience of tech and digital within outlets. How, and I don't want to talk about what people were doing before, but what changes have you already seen in just the last couple of months that OrderPay has been live? Whether that's in execution or user experience, or what are the operators getting out of it? What are the customers getting out of it from what you can see at the moment?
Yeah, great point. And it's fascinating coming from grocery, where we were asked to measure incrementality and ROI and the customer and customer visit frequency and knowing your customer, and just being very metric obsessed with the customer and incrementality. And quite often what I found was the number of conversations I've had in hospitality that's a very difficult metric to get, partially because loyalty potentially might not work in its traditional sense in hospitality because of its visit frequency. But also the tools and the mechanics with which to get customer IDs and recognize a customer transacting with you meant that it was really a real challenge to get know and engage and then upsell and cross-sell to your customers. So I think with a platform such as ours and the depth of data that it provides on a customer, their visit frequency, their spending habits, the products that they like, there's a whole bunch of really exciting opportunities that we're exploring with our partners on how to know and engage and delight customers in some really unique ways.
I think that's a really important point that you've just made about engage and delight, because we are hospitality. We're not a grocery store. This isn't about me being able to walk in, do my weekly shop and walk out again. It is so much more about experience. How in your mind does, and I keep saying the word tech because anyone that watches these and that knows me knows that I am not tech enabled, but I am doing my best. I'm doing my best to learn. So how does tech add to the user experience rather than taking away from what a hospitality business has to offer? Because there'll be some people out there that will sort of say, yeah, but I don't want the robots taking over.
Yeah, great point. And two direct points that I can make on that from conversations I've had in the last week. One of them is making sure that the experience is as good as it possibly can be and a lot better. You know, you go in, you can order your favorite drinks very quickly, one button press, they get brought to you. You didn't have to queue at the bar. I really like that. I like the fact that after a certain amount of time, you can reorder, one button press, and it will arrive back at your table. And making that whole piece super simple is great. But we were just talking about this with a bit more of an upscale operator who was talking about something that we're launching with our wine lists, where we're actually going to put the wine label within the wine menu and add tasting notes to the wine list. So here's an example of where a digital interaction has suddenly added value to the experience, because a wine list can quite often be a daunting place. To suddenly then have an interaction of going, oh, do you know what? I recognize that. Is that yellow label? Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, tasting notes. Oh yeah, actually that's really good. So suddenly from a list where you go, oh, I'll take two from the top or whatever your strategy is, you're going, oh, actually no, I'll have that. So that's a classic example of where, you know, you've got an operational efficiency gain there in terms of the, you know, press a button and it comes and it's great. And then also you've got the extended user experience piece of going, well, I've got tasting notes and a wine list, this is great. And then also the age old problem, which I've had with a couple of young kids, you know, kicking off in a restaurant, we need to get out of there. I just need to pay my bill. And you get the wallet and you go, yeah, no, bring the terminal. Get the terminal. Actually, with our solution, you can just press the button and just pay for the table and walk out. And even if you go back to pre-COVID, just traditional waiter approach of serving and not ordering via our app, you can still pay at the table via it and walk out. So they're sort of, I guess, three quite personal use cases that I thought were great in terms of the tech just improving the overall experience.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, you know, as part of the white paper that we've launched about the tech-enabled customer experience in hospitality. We know that one of the major pain points for customers is that payment bit. You know, it's that little bit where, and it's whether, you know, you're over, you're done, and you want to get going. And I think if you can take any pain points away from the customer journey, then that's a positive. So looking to the future then, Richard, where do you see tech going? Do you think we've reached in hospitality where we're going to sit for a while, or do you think that we're going to, you know, continue to excel and to change and to add more functionality to what we've already got?
I think it obviously it's massively. I read an article earlier today saying it in 5 years in 3 months, and you know, things have obviously moved so significantly in terms of that knowing and engaging, or knowing and then having the ability to engage your customer, but then to provide so many interesting value-added journeys as a result of that. So the fact that OrderPay as a channel for all of our operators will exist. They can reach out to them with interesting incentives or surprise and delight mechanics. I mean, I used to run loyalty programs, and you know, loyalty programs can be sometimes a bit boring. You earn this, you get a stamp, you do this. Or some of the things that we're looking at are, you know, Katy, you know, I saw that you spent over £100 on Friday night at Drake and Morgan or wherever, and actually, yeah, and then or maybe more, and then actually, you know, do you know what? You're flagged up as people who spent more than £100. So what I might do is send you a thanks for visiting us. Come back on a Monday to Wednesday, and here's a bottle of wine. Have lunch on us. You know, those type of mechanics, which is perfect loyalty actually, but it's not a loyalty scheme, are some of the things that for example, we're going to bring to this to operators, and there's a whole host of things, more knowing and understanding, and also I think in grocery, I'm used to doing a lot of supplier-funded promotions where the P&Gs, the Unilevers and the Mars would fund things. If you have a channel whereby you can present to those CPG, or should we say providers, a route to engage a customer that you know is already engaging with your brand or having a particular type of experience, then that's incredibly valuable. And it's something that our operators can benefit from by saying, I've got these customers, they are doing this. Would you like to potentially support me in providing them an offer that would surprise and delight them even more? So I'm finding that quite interesting, and you know, bringing my grocery best practice into the sector. And our chief data officer's ex Amia used to run one of the largest loyalty programs in the world, so he's really excited about some of the things that we can help our operators achieve.
Fantastic. Richard, thank you so much for your time. It's been really interesting for me to understand what tech can help us do, and how it can continue to help us to surprise and delight And it's been a pleasure working with you guys on the white paper as well.
Absolute pleasure.